Good afternoon. The temperature is about 5 degrees and we're at the base of Redburn Country Park. Been here many times before, but we're on a special visit. It's about 3:30 and it's Tuesday the 5th of January, and this is the country park here with the car parking. Never ever came in by this part of the forest, and there's a wee bit of history here. Set on the grounds of the former Dunville estate, the country park is rich in history, blah blah blah. Exploring an adventure, walks and trails, rambles throughout the season. What you can expect to see. Oh, Dreadnought Wood. That's interesting. Panoramic views. The original site of Redburn House. And that's what we want to see. Okay, need to get on here because there's a lady in front of me and she said that she would take us up to where we want to see. It's quite an extensive park. It's on a slope and there's all sorts of different trees, and there's reputed to be red squirrels in here and pine martens, and I have walked it many times before, but not from this end. Never from this end. So this is just a first for me. Ground's quite mucky. We're just having an extremely mild spell just at present, which is totally amazing. Ooh.
Getting close now.
See that there? That's reminiscent of the Dark Ages.
Is
Have you noticed that before?
Not quite.
Yeah,
Did you get that?
Yeah.
I have to keep them right.
Don't miss the
What
thing.
did you do then? Car.
If you don't want to go further up, if you go down that way, just pass along the bottom.
Right.
Bring you back to those.
Many thanks. Listen, thank you very much indeed.
No problem.
Super duper. And this is what we have come to see. And I didn't know about this until my son-in-law's father, William, told me about it. This is the bearpit in Redburn Country Forest Park. Local legend tells how Lord Dunville's pet bear Bruno was kept in this small quarry. Bruno was a North American black bear and a tame nature and was well known for his tricks. And there's no dates on this, Well, this would have been in around the 1900s, And Lord Dunville at that time, the Dunvilles were at that time one of the leading, if not the leading, manufacturers of whisky in the world. And he owned this estate. And the Lord they were a bit eccentric. So the Lord Dunville was a balloonist. But his son was a zoologist. And that's why he kept a sort of a mini zoo. This is Robert Lambert Dunville that we're talking about. And he kept a mini zoo at the back of the house. Well, it wasn't at the back of the house, it was further on up the hill. And this is all the details about it. A high wall was built in 1920 to protect the circular area of the zoo, with the other exotic animals including cockatoo, black panther, kangaroo, zebra and some monkeys and a lemur, and they were all here. Folklore would have it that by night the bear was kept here in this small quarry known as the bearpit. Stories tell of how Bruno learnt to sit on some of the chain by which he was tethered so that it looked shorter than it was. If he was teased by anybody, he would leap out to the full length of the chain and seek his revenge. Not good. Tales exist that Robert's father, John, sometimes took Bruno to the family house in London and let him loose, much to the protests of his wife Violet. I'm sure she did protest. 1934, after the death of Robert, the state was unable to continue looking after the animals, and at this time Belfast Zoological Gardens opened and Robert's private zoo was donated to them, and that was up at Bellevue Zoo. And these are extracts from Patrick Moffat's typewritten notes titled Dunville Family of Redburn House, Holywood, 1759 to 1940, tell a string of bizarre stories about the animal activities at Redburn Estate. And you can read that for yourself. I think this is brilliant. And there's an example of a North American black bear that the Dunvilles kept, and here is the actual black bear, Bruno, and this is the bear pit. And this is a marvellous woodland environment. As I say, ancient woodland. And this is me, obviously standing beside a black bear that might have been on its back two legs. So that's just to give you the size of a black bear. And it's strange to imagine Bruno the bear rollicking about in here where I'm standing. And I believe the Dunvilles, the Dunville family, are mostly buried in Priory Churchyard, just on the outskirts of Holywood. And somebody's dropped their gloves. I'll just throw them up. Their mittens or whatever. Yeah. The Dunvilles are buried at Priory Churchyard, and one of the Dunvilles, I'm nearly sure, won a VC in the First World War. Nearly sure. And we're just coming upon another notice board. And the site of the original Redburn house is down here towards the road. The park was once home to the Dunville family, who built their house here in 1866, eventually demolished in 1972. Remains of various structures from the old estate can still be seen, including the bearpit, which we've been to, where folklore has it Bruno the pet bear was kept. Brilliant. So I'm thinking that the old Dunville house would have been around here, because I'm looking across and this looks like the remains of an old walled garden, and we're trying to find our way back to the car park. Some of these trees are very, very old. And that would have been an old garden, vegetable garden or something in there. This could have been a main avenue, don't know. Here's another notice board. Talking about the production of whisky and the zoo, and this man Dunville, the original, was a hot air balloonist, and this is what the old house would have looked like. And it's just a shame that an awful lot of Ulster big houses were allowed to go to wreck and ruin. And eventually these old houses would have to be torn down. Dunville's whisky. And here's all about the private zoo. And this is magic. More about Dunville's whisky. And this is history right on our doorstep. And this is the Dunville family legacy. Dunville family contributed enormously to the city of Belfast. They donated land for the newly formed Distillery Football Club in 1880, and in 1891 they gifted 4 acres of land to the city, which became Belfast's first public park. In 1940, Valet Dunville dies. Redburn House was commandeered by the Air Ministry to accommodate members of the Women's Royal Air Force. Remains of the stable and original house remain, and the walled garden with its ornate railings and stone columns, and that's what we have just been looking at. Brilliant! Come and see it for yourselves, folks. Redburn Country Park, just on the edge of Belfast and on the edge of Holywood. But remember to bring a pair of welly boots, because it is trails mucky. Very mucky indeed. And which way do it go? Don't know.